It is hard to believe that a year has come and gone. It seems like only yesterday that I was introduced as the new incoming president and CEO of JVS at the 2013 annual general meeting. Walking into this room, I was being introduced to our board members, staff, members of the public, our funders, and some of our colleagues and clients. I remember thinking, how will I possibly remember everyone's name? I also thought, this isn't really a good time to make a mistake or trip on my way to the podium. I've been known to do both. But as it turned out, it was a great night. The support from the community continues to be there for the organization that is entering its 68th year. The support from UJA, the United Way, is still strong, as well as the many government funders and committed donors whose names appear in the program, assuring that our services will continue as the various needs of our clients, job seekers, and our employers. But what I want to do tonight is to focus and spotlight our job seekers who are striving to find success through employment and supporting our students in their success at school. This year, at our Strictly Business Luncheon, we focused on youth as our theme, and we entitled it, Our Youth, Our Future, Your Business, Their Careers. And that theme still resonates tonight and will continue to be a focus of the organization. As I stated at the luncheon, the unemployment rate for youth, and I'm talking under 29, is 1 in 5. Not very promising numbers, regardless if you've spent time getting a degree or a diploma, or if you've struggled to get that first job out of high school, or you have just arrived in Canada. But tonight, we want to focus on successes and challenges overcome. Take Toussaint Silvakumar. Toussaint was living in one of the designated priority programs when he had the opportunity to work in the Youth and Policing Initiative that was being run by the Toronto Police Services. Toussaint longed to be a police officer and had completed many of the requirements, but had not been accepted into the program and was getting very discouraged. He came to JVS, where our team encouraged him to persevere, helped him with his networking and interviewing skills, and in exploring the hidden job market. And the work paid off. Today, I am delighted to tell you that he is proudly training to become a member of the Toronto Police Services. Then there's Alyssa Menezes, a participant in the JVS Asperger's Job Readiness Program. This program gives the participants the opportunity to learn about employment, including time management skills, interviewing skills, and positive work behaviors. They are placed with employers, and for many, this may be their first work experience in the workforce. Alyssa's mother wrote to JVS stating, "With the proper support and guidance, our children have been given an opportunity to grow and develop. As they develop skills, they'll be able to find more opportunities in employment." And then there's Liat Kadosh Samir and Ophir Shamir, a young couple who came to Canada from Israel and enrolled in one of our employment programs called Emmett. Emmett connected Liat with a marketing consulting agency that hired her initially as an intern and subsequently was promoted to project manager. Ophir, who had applied unsuccessfully to a number of positions, was linked to an employer that JVS knew was looking for a junior logistics coordinator. Ophir was hired within 2 months. Our good news stories do not just focus on employment. Our psychological career services, celebrating 50 years of success, are in many of the Jewish day schools, a number of public school boards, as well as providing a number of fee-for-services for children and adult members of the community at large. Our work with children who have a variety of childhood challenges such as learning disabilities, ADHD, autism spectrum disorder, anxiety, and depression helps parents, teachers, and school administrators understand the challenges and strategies to ensure children are supported to achieve their success. To give you an example and an idea of the impact we do in the schools, we received an email from one of the resource teachers at one of our day schools. The students had been struggling, and the JVS psychoeducational consultant assigned to the school conducted an assessment that the teacher described as transformational, but not only for the student, but the teachers as well. The resource teacher stated that thanks to the assessment, and because of the student's dedication to know herself as a learner, to understand her strengths and weaknesses, she was able to become a confident student who could share her intelligence, humor, and conscientious spirit with everyone. And if that statement isn't enough of an award, our work in the Jewish day schools was recently recognized internationally with the Ruderman Family Foundation Prize of $50,000. We were one of only 5 and the only Canadian organization around the world to receive this prestigious award. We could not be where we are today without the support of our employers. And later tonight, you will hear from one of our supporters, Per Scott, RBC's Vice President of Human Resources, who is our keynote speaker. RBC shares our goal in giving youth every opportunity to get a good start with their careers. Our employers and business partners, large corporations, small family-run businesses, franchises, schools, also come from all kinds of interesting backgrounds that mirror the successes and challenges overcome, like our job seekers. If you had attended these strictly business events in the past, and I'm sure many of you have, you will have heard some of these stories. Employers like the Grzinski Bakery, established by immigrants from Lithuania who knew what it was like to start over. Or Stefano Kincelli, who started his own business called the Singing Lady Consignment Emporium. He told me he calls it that because his wife likes to sing to her customers. Just 4 years ago, that he tells me has quadrupled in size. Interesting, like many of our job seekers today, he changed careers after working for the government as an analyst. He recently employed one of our participants from the Asperger's Job Readiness Program, and I had the opportunity to meet him at our recent graduation. He wanted to come, and when I thanked him for agreeing to be one of our employers, he stopped me and said, "Oh no, I should be thanking you for the privilege." I want you to hear the story of why they hired our client from his store manager, Carol Ann Powell.
So one of the things that made a big difference to me when I was interviewing with Priyanka is, we had been chatting for a few minutes and I thought she was lovely, but I wasn't completely, ready to hire her. I wasn't completely sold. And I think that very intelligently she sensed that I was feeling that way. And she pulled out this binder that she had and she sold me on herself, and it worked. And I was so impressed, and I was thinking, you know what, in a store, this is what I need, is somebody who can sell things. And she's selling herself to me, and it's working. That made a big difference. I would always recommend JVS. It's been very helpful. If anyone asked me about, looking for employees, that would definitely be someone, I would definitely send people in the direction of JVS. They've been very helpful. All of the programs have been helpful. All of the support has been helpful. It's been a really useful program.
Another employer, Kirkor Architects and Planners, has been an active employer supporting our iPlan program. iPlan stands for Immigrant Professionals Leveraging Architectural Knowledge for New Opportunities. I know why they prefer the acronym. In speaking to the co-founder and senior partner, Cliff Corman, I asked him, why is he such a supporter? Cliff told me that he knows that the quality of the graduates is great. These are architectural professionals who come from other countries, but need to get that Canadian experience. We often hear so much. And as he said to me, it is our experience that these participants are highly motivated to succeed, and that by giving them this opportunity has been mutually rewarding as they become excellent, skilled employees. AGMs are a good time to reflect on the past as well as provide a glimpse of the future. But the reality is the future is already here. And as you have heard, JVS Toronto, like many social service agencies, is facing its challenges as government and other traditional sources of funding change their priorities and have their own financial challenges. We will continue to provide the excellent service, but are looking at expanding our array of programs to better serve additional populations, and in some cases, in a different way, by seeking partnerships with new organizations and approaching current partners in a new way. For example, JVS Toronto has long recognized that a hidden group of job seekers are not represented in the social service or even the unemployment statistics, but are growing large in numbers. What I'm talking about are the post-secondary students and graduates who are not getting employed or are working in jobs outside of their field of education. A recent study that was published by Workopolis looking at 7 million resumes stated that compared to the year 2000, there are more educated Canadians today looking for jobs. 16% more with bachelors, 43% more with masters, and 25% more with PhDs. Not surprising is that over half the respondents said that they believe they are overeducated for their jobs. We are also seeing a decline in graduates obtaining jobs in more traditional job markets where historically it would have been possible to get employment. To address this, JVS Toronto is working closely with UJA and Hillel to develop a program geared specifically for undergraduates to better support their career and employment planning and job search support. At the other end of the job seeking spectrum, we are looking at those employees and job seekers who are 45 years and over. According to Stats Canada, the average number of weeks that people are out of jobs today is 21 versus 15.5 weeks in 2007. And from working with job seekers, we know that the decline of manufacturing and its impact on related companies, along with the continued soft economy, have put a number of people out of work, and many of them are in this 45-plus range. In fact, of the 21,000 clients we saw last year, about a third were in this age group. People who are in their mid to late career have a different set of issues that need to be supported to successfully transition into another job or career. And starting in the fall, we'll be partnering with Mark Simpson at George Brown School of Business, who leads a very creative entrepreneurial program for students geared to not-profit organizations. And we are thrilled to be working with the college, who will help guide us in the development of the program. We are also looking at partnering with both private and public agencies that need our employment expertise. One example is a private eating disorder clinic where we'll be referred clients who will need help in transitioning to employment. The future has all sorts of possibilities, and the key will be our partners and our employers. And we will continue to work with them, some of whom are in the room today, to better support not just our job seekers and our clients, but your needs as well. So stay tuned. I'd like to change directions for just a moment and put a plug in for June 16th, 2017. What is that date? Well, that date marks the 70th anniversary of when JVS first opened its doors to the public. And for some of you who were around for the 60th, I know there's only a few who were around in 47, but for the 60th, I'm sure you're saying, is it possible already? When the founders of Jewish Vocational Services started the organization to respond to the many Holocaust survivors coming to Canada looking for work, I am not sure they would have ever imagined the JVS of today. In preparation for the 70th celebration, we want to learn more about our alumni. In our 60th anniversary tribute book, we had some stories from both clients and family members that had given us and helped that gave us their stories. But we have helped since then over 500,000 people during our lifetime. And we know that there are many other great stories there. We have in the book, the AGM profile, a story about the 70th and a reference to these stories. Please see that for more information. We want to hear your stories. All of this would not be possible without a group of dedicated and talented staff. Over the past year, I've had the pleasure and privilege of getting to know some amazing staff and see them in action. They're not those amazing. There's other, but we'll keep that up there. I'm looking the staff down there. I was looking, why are they laughing at themselves? Over the past year, I've had the privilege to get to know who they are. And whether they are on the front lines, at the desk, downstairs working, they are an amazing group of staff, and I don't know where this organization could be without them, so I thank them all. We also have the great executive team, that's them, who helps me every day to ensure we are moving forward. We have had our challenges this year, and it has been particularly important to have this team work as we have navigated the issues. In particular, in no particular order, but starting from the front, Cindin Norton, our VP of Human Resources, Nellie Teitelbaum, our Acting VP of Finance, and Kim Coulter, our COO at the very end, who many of you are aware, stepped up the previous year to be the acting CEO before I arrived. I also want to extend a thank you to Martina Burchat, who helped us with our marketing and fundraising agenda over the course of the year. And when it comes to a board, it is often said that the board is the cornerstone of the organization that supports the agency's mission. We at JVS are very lucky to have such a committed board, committee members, and service volunteers. As many of you know who have or are currently involved in boards and committees, this means evenings, extra work between meetings, supporting fundraising and special events, and constantly encouraging others to support the organization. I have heard one of our board members say, if any of my friends see my caller ID on the phone, they know I'm going to be asking them for something. And for many, this of course is not their day job, never mind all their family commitments. So on behalf of the staff at JVS, I want to thank you, our many volunteers, our board members, for all you do to ensure our mission and the families and significant others for supporting their passion. We should always thank the significant others because we know that behind every board member, committee member, is those people who say, why are you going out again tonight? I also want to add my appreciation to our students who come to us from many post-secondary institutions, and most of them are here to get their experience for their diplomas or degrees, but for us, we benefit greatly. And one of our students is featured in the AGM program. I'd like at this point to thank one person who is finishing his term as chair of the board, and that is Paul Hayward. Paul has been a tremendous leader and has been there since my beginning every step of the way. I remember like it was yesterday, Paul, when I first met you. And he took me out for coffee at Second Cup. I could see he was going to take things in stride and had a sense of humor, which is always really good for a chair. He bought my coffee, and as I was adding milk to the coffee, I don't know what happened, but somehow the entire cup of coffee fell on him, and he was soaking wet. I thought, this is not a good way to start an interview, and he looked at me and said, perhaps a little stunned, a little wet, would you like another? He didn't flinch. Paul has been involved with JVS Toronto for many years, and his commitment to the agency has definitely shows. He has chaired a number of committees, including Strictly Business, and he took over as chair when the organization was experiencing changes in leadership and financial challenges. I could see from the start he was determined to move things forward and did not get caught up in the past. And that, to me, is a sign of a good leader. As a new CEO in a nonprofit agency, he continued to be there to answer my questions and to help me as I made my way during the first year. I want to thank him for all he has done as chair and to thank him in advance for all he's going to be doing as past chair. And before I call up Paul, I'd like to thank the partner behind the chair, Carrie. Where's Carrie? Paul's better half. Carrie, just between you and I was also First Lady when my husband was president at JFNCS. I know the time commitment. I know all the meetings he went to and the many things that I had to attend as his First Lady. I still am, even though he's no longer president. I therefore like to present you with these flowers on behalf of JVS to thank you for your support. And Paul, I'd like to, there's nothing to present you.
That's all right.
No, I do. I actually On behalf of the board
Thank you.
and the staff.
Thank you. Oh, boy.
Sil, this is it?
It's not someone else's?
No.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
And finally, I'd like to say welcome to Susan Freems as our new board chair. Susan, first of all, I promise I will not spill coffee on you. Second, I look forward to working with you as you continue to guide the organization forward, just like your many predecessors who came before you. The role of the chair is an important one, and in my year working with you as the governance chair, I am confident that you will lead us well. So welcome.